What's up, everybody? Hey, y'all. Hey, girl. Hey, what's up, y'all? Happy Wednesday. How y'all doing? I feel like screaming. Oh my God, I feel like screaming. What a day. What a day, y'all. I want y'all to grab all of your friends. Get on here. Get in here now. Get in here now, y'all. Get in here now. Oh my God, get in here now. Woo! What a day, y'all. What a day. Listen, it has definitely been a day. Hey, Karen Hooger. Oh my God. What's up, y'all? Karen Hooger. I had to pull y'all in, y'all. It's been quite a challenging day. And I want just to share with you all that I just got off a live with one of my best friends who is a okay, Dia, you got to get on your husband's phone because it ain't gonna work. Um, I just got off a live with one of my best friends, Dearest, who is an emotional and a social strategist. She helps those with emotional intelligence and helps you to be able to navigate through your life challenges, child. And y'all jumped on, honey. Y'all jumped on. I appreciate it. And I think she can help you too. That's why I wanted to get you in here because it's just that serious, y'all. It's just that serious. Dia, your phone ain't gonna work, my darling. You gotta use your husband's phone. It's unable to join. It's for whatever reason. It's saying you're unable to join. So you gotta ask your husband if he will let you use his phone again because your phone is not working, my darling. Not working, y'all. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. This woman just blessed my soul so good about emotional intelligence and about how important it is for us to have this emotional intelligence as we are navigating through life's challenges. So many of us that are watching right now who have all of these different degrees and accomplishments, and we still can't navigate life, right? We still make choices based upon our emotions versus making choices based upon what's going to be best for us. And I think it's going to work this time, dear. But y'all, I had to pull her onto my platform because, yo, she just killed it. Dear, it's your phone, my darling. It's your phone, but it's okay. You here. Y'all, welcome to my platform, y'all. This is Dia Direct. This is one of my best friends. I could really kick it up real like I want to on here, y'all. I put on my post, help. I don't feel good. And girl, they jumped on here quick, child. I had 70 people on here in 2 seconds.
I love it.
Honey, they kicked in the door waving the 4-4.
That's what's up. That's what you need in your life.
They're not playing, but I want to jump right in because I know our time is limited. You have some other obligations tonight, but I wanted to just tell them about this really powerful conversation that you and I just had. And we were talking about fibroids, y'all. I brought her in to talk about fibroids, and she just dropped some quality nuggets, y'all, that I think you all need to know. And I just want to tell you a little bit about Dia before she jumps right in, y'all. Dia is otherwise known as Dia Direct. I'm going to read her very brief bio, so stay with me, y'all. Don't turn off because this is going to bless y'all. I know y'all used to me getting on here praying and giving you beauty tips, but y'all, yesterday was Mental Health Awareness Day. It was International Mental Health Awareness Day. And one of the things that we neglect to do is to fortify our mental health. We do everything else. We'll fortify our spirit, man. We will beautify our faces, and we'll do all of these things, but we won't take the time to feed our mental health. And I want to just have Dia talk a little bit about some of the strategies that she does in order to help women through their social and their emotional intelligence, or the lack thereof, because so many people don't even have a clue what that means. What does that mean?
Well, to have emotional intelligence, the real short answer is your ability to manage yourself, your emotions and other people's emotions in real time, right? So it's self-awareness. What's going on with me? How do I feel? What just happened in my day? Am I on my cycle? Am I menopausal? Am I hormonal? Do I have an attitude? Am I angry? Am I sad? What's going on with me, right? Because what's going on with you is going to impact how you engage with other people, right? So you got to be aware of what's going on with you, because sometimes we are leaking and we don't know it. And then also it's having that same intentionality about not just seeing what people are doing, but also seeing what's going on with them. Sometimes it's what's unspoken, or just knowing their situation, because sometimes what's going on with us impacts what we do and how we do it. So being aware of what's happening with yourself and other people, and then being able to manage those things in real time, right? So if I know, for instance, my boss is not a morning person, and I need to have a real conversation with my boss, then I might want to wait until they had coffee. Or if I know my husband is watching the game and I want to play, that ain't going to be good playtime for us right then and there, because he's going to have an attitude because I'm getting in the way of the game. Right. So you just like
So it's about
act like you know what you know, because sometimes we just lie to ourselves, right? Like we know stuff. We're smart. We're so smart. We're stupid. So like there are things that we know to be true, but we pretend like we don't know it's true.
So Dia, so I'm hearing that it's timing. So when you're relegating your emotional intelligence, is really about navigating, like when to hold and when to fold and when to walk away, when to run, right? So it's really about learning the timing of people. But
hold on. Let me just say this. It's also understanding, because the Bible says, "And all you're getting, get what? Understanding," right? Because you can't fix what you can't fix what you don't face. You can't navigate what you don't understand. So sometimes it's listening or being aware of what's going on, which will affect what you do and when you do it or how you do it.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things we've been lied to, is that everything happens because our energy is off. I'm sick of these people getting on social media talking about energy, and because your energy is off, I don't want to deal with you. Because your energy is off, I don't want to have a relationship with you, and I'm just going to abort the relationship. I'm going to throw you to the wind. Dear, let's talk about that. Let's talk about this false sense of understanding as it relates to energy. Because y'all, let me just say this: we are not energy. We ain't even subscribing to that, right? So let's talk a little bit about this.
Well, I think it depends on what you see. You don't have to refer to energy as some new age stuff, right? It doesn't have to be new agey. It's really about what's going on with you, right? Like your mindset, your mood, your spirit, right? Like who you are. And we're not always the same people at the same, like some people might be even killed, but I don't know. I got hormones. Some days I'm high, some days I'm not, right? So that can affect my mood or my way of being. But if I'm aware of what's going on with me, then I can kind of keep myself in check. I might not need to go out to the event if I'm not in a good space.
That part. So you're basically saying that we have to be responsible for our emotions, right? So the
Absolutely.
responsibility is on us. And when we are irresponsible with our emotions, now that can lead to having someone to say your energy is off, and maybe it could end a friendship. It could end. But why? But Dia, I want to know, why are we so quick to throw people away? Like, why don't we want to work through life's challenges, or take the time to figure out, maybe this person isn't having a good day, or this isn't a good time for them. Like you said, the boss with the coffee. Maybe I should just wait. You know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't have this conversation, this tough conversation, or any conversation for that matter right now.
Well, sometimes it's a lack of empathy, right? Sometimes we're self-absorbed and we don't have the desire or willingness to find out more. Sometimes it's because maybe it's been. Uh-oh. Can you see me, Kim?
I see you.
Oh, sorry, my phone dropped. Sometimes it's because it's a buildup, right, of things that haven't been addressed. And so by the time somebody is like, I'm done, it's because they haven't been honest about what's already been happening. And we don't have good um, conflict skills, right? Like we don't know how to resolve conflict. So a lot of us, by the time we start addressing what's bothering us, we're real mad and we're at the point where we don't care anymore. But it's really about saying how you feel, not necessarily in an assertive way, or I'm sorry, yeah, but in a not in an aggressive way, but in an assertive way, right? Where you can say, listen, when X, Y, and Z happened, this is how it made me feel, versus you did that, what the woo. You know what I'm saying? But I'll give an example from me. I realized that I've been a people pleaser, even though I'm direct, and most people think, okay, I might just say whatever I want to say out of my mouth. But in reality is I actually have been challenged with how to deal with conflict because I grew up in an environment where there was a lot of violence, right? And my father was physically abusive to my mom, and I saw like a lot of crazy stuff. So in my mind, I equated conflict with we got to fight. So I would avoid conflict a lot because I didn't want to have to get physical, because I didn't have the capacity to just have a conversation where it didn't go there. So a lot of us don't have the skills to know how to, everything doesn't have to be a fight. In my
It's one of my girlfriends and followers, she's on Love and Marriage DC. Winter is on. She says sometimes you just want to get out, right? Sometimes you just, and that is also just a way to just kind of get out. I love how Winter does her conflict resolution. Like even watching the show, and I don't want to get too far left, but we're talking about conflict. I mean, and the reality is, I love the way she was very, you seldom saw her raise her voice, which, voice inflections will always cause people to either get frustrated with you because you're not elevated like them, or it will make you feel defensive because they are more elevated than you, right? So I think what I admire about Winter, who was on, is that she always, like, more times than not, she was like right here, right? I know my nails are probably scaring people, like, what's that coming at me in the screen? But yeah, she was always very even. And that is almost like, I can't really gauge you. And I think that those kinds of voice inflections should also be considered when you are having tough conversations with people. Like how am I being perceived, right? Am I sounding, I remember some of the ladies on the show would always say she was being condescending. And I think that's just part of her personality. Like, I feel like some part of Winter was that she was just kind of, she's just kind of like this. Like, that's just kind of her personality,
But
And
that's
Winter,
where
correct me if I'm wrong,
self
'cause you're on here,
awareness.
but I want to talk a little bit about that. So, and I know, do you discuss that in your book? The one I love, child. I don't want to say
So,
it wrong. We're gonna
so
say it right.
the most recent book is called "You're Successful, but Are You Okay?" Right, and so it's dealing with real self-care strategies. And yes, I do deal with it, and I tell the story about how one time I was at work and a Caucasian coworker told me she had a fight with her boyfriend, and I was like, "Girl, do we need to go get our Vaseline? What do we need to do?" And she's like, "Oh no, dear, we just had an argument." And culturally, what fight meant was completely different, right? So it's about what you've been exposed to. A lot of us haven't been exposed to conflict resolution, or, we use words differently. So one of the things that we should all do, whether it's sending a crazy email or responding to your spouse or whatever it is, take a beat. Breathe, right? Because if you just take a beat and you breathe, you can feel what's happening to your body. You can feel, maybe your fist balling up. You can feel your breathing getting a little heavy. You can feel the tenseness in your stomach or in your neck, right? So it starts to happen to your body before you even say anything. So if you just take a beat and you breathe, right? Breathe in 4, breathe out 4 for 4 times, right? you do what's called square breathing. It will help calm you down, because our brain is called, the amygdala, right? Our brain, it goes into fight or flight mode when we feel like somebody is offending us or they're coming for us, and we immediately go into survival mode, and we just go to, and you know how black folks are. We be like, I just blacked out. All I saw was red, child. No, baby, you need to breathe. Take a minute,
No, you need to
right?
breathe.
Breathe, take a beat, don't respond, log off, go take a walk, go outside and get some sunshine, go get some of that vitamin D in your body to help relax your mind and your body and your spirit a little bit, and you'll come back and be a little bit better. Just because somebody is saying something to you doesn't mean you have to respond.
I think that what we have done, y'all, and this is no shade to anybody that smokes weed. This ain't no shade to anybody that drinks liquor. This ain't no shade to nobody who smokes a hookah and does all of that. But what I do know is that people have resorted to other substances to keep them at peace, right? Versus getting into that B space, right? And saying, okay, I can do this naturally. So, because what if I can't get my hands on no weed or no liquor or no lover or whatever?
We just need tools. We need tools. That's all. That's all we need.
We need some tools. And I think that is where people have just kind of rested on these other outside sources versus utilizing the tools that you have within, or around you, meaning like the air. You said, go out and take a beat, breathe. Like, come on, breathe. Like, I've had to tell my son that. I've had to tell, some of the people that I minister to, the first thing I always tell them, I say, come on, breathe. Anybody that's texted me in the last 10 days and I've counseled you, look on your text message. It probably said breathe. Because I realized the power of taking a breath. It gives you a moment to step back. It gives you a minute to clear your head. It gives you a time to respond differently, because our first response sometimes ain't the right response, right?
But look what you just did, Kim. I'm going to just show you what you just did. It's breathing. It's also slowing down how you speak. When you shift your energy in terms of your tone and speed, it affects other people, right? And then they will begin to mirror your energy, right? They'll begin to mirror what you're doing. When you stop going fast and high pace and at the top of your lungs, they'll begin to mirror that when you adjust.
Yeah, you've been talking about this soft power for many years, long before it got popular and became a fad and a trend. I talked about soft life, a few months ago, but you talked about soft life and wrote a book about it 7 years ago.
Yeah.
You all, my girlfriend's
soft
a dope.
Let
me just
power,
say this,
honey.
y'all. She got it right there, y'all. My girlfriend's a dope. And I told y'all, I'm a 5-starter, but all my friends are like this. Like, all of my friends are really the dopest of dope, because in their respective communities and worlds, they lead the pack. I want you to talk a little bit about your thoughts when you wrote that book. You wrote the book 7 or 8 years ago. You were working on that book for a minute. Yeah. So we don't even need to date it at 7. That's just when it came out. But you were living in that space because of your life challenges and whatever. Talk a little bit about what was going on with you mentally when you were saying help and you were acting out, or maybe you were screaming and yelling. What changed your mind to then want to say, maybe I should try a different strategy?
Girl, and first of all, when I first came out with this book, and I was working for Tom Joyner at the time as his producer, and they were like, Direct, you wrote a book about being soft? Like, the irony that I was the one.
I said that too. I was like, what's the, huh?
Right. But that's actually what makes it more credible, that somebody who is, has such a strong personality like I do, begin to realize, like, I'm going to break if I don't find another way to handle myself. And I'm going to lose abuse, because like your hair, right? If you put too many harsh products on your hair, what happens? It breaks. It's going to break off. It's not going to be healthy. That's the same thing with our mind, our body, and our spirit. If you go so hard in the paint all the time, you will break. And I remember I was in a relationship with this guy at the time. Now, he was toxic. The relationship was toxic. I was toxic, right? The whole thing was toxic. But he said something to me that broke me down. Because, God can use anybody, right, Kim? And sometimes he used people that we don't want him to use or that we least expect. And so we were in the middle of an argument. And, I don't mind breaking you down to the lowest common denominator. In fact, it was fun for me, okay? And I went so hard this particular day. He said, you know what, Dia? You go too hard. Matter of fact, if I wanted to date a man, that's what I would do. But you'll never be hard as a man. Broke my face. My face was broken, girl. Broke. I didn't let him know that. But sometimes when people get a good point on you, you don't want them to know it, but afterwards you are messed up. Girl, I was so messed up. And I realized we look feminine. I look feminine. I can do all the feminine things, all the makeup, all the hair, all the colors, right? But my energy, I had more masculine energy than I did feminine energy, right? And everybody has masculine and feminine energy. Again, not a new age thing. It's just how we're built scientifically, right? Like there are certain things that are like hard power. Hard power is like, I'm going to go, do, be effective. Soft power is soft skills where you learn how to negotiate. You begin to understand what it is that people want and you become an influencer, right? You're not influencing people. They're mirroring what you do. You're showing them how your lifestyle or what you do or what you have is advantageous for them. And then what do? They follow you. They try the things that you recommend. You don't have to beat people down to get them to do stuff. And by the way, we are grown, right? So you can't make another grown person do anything, right? And even if they do it, whether it's at work or personally, eventually they're going to resent you if it's not going to benefit them or it's something that they want to do. So what you want to do is you want to have attractive power. You want to attract people to you. You want to know what appeals to them, and you want to be able to communicate in a way that makes them feel like they're winning too, right? That it's a benefit to both of us. And so what I do in the book is I define what soft power is, which is actually a political term. It's a communications term that you use to be able to negotiate, right? And then I changed the term and turned it into soft her power. And so I break down all these different versions of soft in terms of how we communicate, how we move. For women whose hearts have been broken, right? Like we say we want love, but we have a wall up because we're afraid of being hurt because we don't give ourselves credit for having learned, right? It's nothing wrong with going through things. That's what a testimony is. The key is to learn from it and to leverage it. But if you're walking in a space of fear or having a hard heart, that same wall that you have up is also keeping out what you want, right? And so it's trusting yourself and trusting the fabric of the Holy Spirit, right? To be able to soften the load that's in your mind and in your body and your spirit, to soften you and to trust that you're not going to break, right? You learn from that last situation. Yes, it was painful, but you're still here. So that means you can do this. And by the way, you're going to see the red flags faster than you did the last time. And by the way, you learn something about yourself in the last time. So there's opportunity for growth, but you won't know if you've grown until you're tested again. So you got to get back in the water, right? You got to try, because how will you pass the test unless you try? And then the second part of the book is teaching you the art of becoming a man whisperer. And it's teaching you how to understand men emotionally and spiritually. And I'll just give this last example. When you think about us being the rib, right, Kim? What does the rib do?
Covers the heart.
Exactly. It also covers all of our major organs, right? So being the rib is really a critical position for us to be in, because we're covering a man's most precious, critical organs. And he's trusting us to be a soft place for him to lay his head. But if we're as hard as he is, how will he be able to trust that we're a safe place to be if we're acting as masculine as he is in our energy?
That's so good, dear. I mean, I think that it is really kind of unlearning what we've been doing and having to relearn ourselves. So let me ask you this. So am I faking it till I make it by doing these strategies?
Yeah.
Is that basically what you're saying?
Yeah.
So basically, if I'm going to win, I gotta fake it till I make it, because I hear people say all the time that they're in therapy and that this is just who I am and this is just what it's gonna be. And I always say, you know, and I'm definitely not an advocate for being fake, but I do believe in winning, right? I'm big on winning, and I realize as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a pastor, you know, that ultimately I am constantly up against numbers and figures and people, and I cannot hide behind a desk. I can't do my work behind a desk. I'm not in that field. I'm in a field where I have to deal with people, right? And so until I'm able to get to a space where I can win, naturally, you're giving us strategies to win until we win.
Here's the thing, kid. You're absolutely right, Kim. Let me tell you why. It's not even about being fake. It's about the analogy that you'll appreciate is this. It's when you go to the gym.
Tony,
Whatever
my
muscle.
brother is on here. My god brother Tony is on here. He said women fake orgasms. What's the difference?
Well, different conversation, but we can go there. You know, I got a book called Touch Yourself. Don't play with me.
Tony, she's the one to go there with, okay? So
You don't want it. You don't want it, Tony, because I will, but I'm gonna stay on point. The example that I give is when you go to the gym, right? I know you've been working out, Kim. Whatever you're doing, whatever muscle you're working on is the one that's going to be the strongest. When you get back into the gym of life or the gym of relationship or the gym spiritually, you're like a little baby, right? It takes time. It's uncomfortable. It's going to hurt, right? It is not a habit yet. And so you're going to struggle with that thing. And so if you don't use it, you will lose it, right? And just like my voice, like I've gone through things and I feel like sometimes I've lost my voice. I know that God has gifted me, but sometimes if you don't use your gifts, you lose your confidence, right? You lose your flow. And so you've got to be
in the back. Say it for the people in the back. Say it one more time.
Yeah, if you don't use it, you lose your flow. So sometimes, and that's again when we were talking about being a pioneer, sometimes the stuff that you did long time ago that people were trying to do, we sometimes we feel like, well, I'm not gonna be on that anymore because somebody else is on it. But if it's your gift, it's your gift, right? But if you're not using your gift, you will lose it. Or even if you don't lose it, because the Bible says it comes without repentance, but it won't be sharp. Right? And so, yes, you do fake it until you make it because it's not easy to do all the time. But what I tell people is it works if you work it. As long as you don't compromise yourself to the point where you're not able to be who you are. You got to figure out what that balance is. And the key about being soft is, I talk about in the book, it's about being savvy. It's a strategy. It makes you smart. It's not about being weak. It's about being meek. Right? Being strong, being soft is not weak. It's wise, right? It's wise. It's using wisdom, and it's knowing what to use when. You can't use different tools unless you have them. You can't use different skills unless you have them. So you got to know when to go hard and you got to know when to go soft. But if you don't have that power or you don't have that skill or that muscle is not built up, you won't know how to use it. So we got to work on it. And sometimes it will feel like we're being fake. And sometimes it will be hard. But look at the results. Look at the result. My husband says to me all the time, what happened to all that soft power? Girl, I'm literally rereading my own book right now. If you go to my page at DEYA Direct, I put up a video the other day and I said, it's time for me to reread my book. Because I realized the principles are true, just like the word of God. The word of God is true, whether you follow it or not. It's true. Just because I don't do it, don't make it untrue. So when I get back to doing it, it's not going to be so easy because I've formed new habits now that are easier for me to do. That's what I'm talking about.
So what's the first step in us being soft? Because I know I most of my followers, a lot of my followers are a lot like me. I am a sanguine. I am, I'm very vocal. I am excited. I'm passionate.
We're the same people, Kim.
Oh, dear. I'm just letting them know. Girl, okay? But listen, the ties that bind us is that we are very much alike. Whereas some people say opposites attract, we are very much alike. We are very passionate. We are very emotional. We are very involved. We are love hard. You know, we are very loyal, and we have standards, and we mean what we say. We say what we mean. And sometimes in all of that, we have to still learn how to be soft, right?
We do.
Because
We do.
it's good.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is not even like a salesy thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. The first thing you should do is go on Amazon and get this book, "Soft is the New Power: Embracing Your Feminine Edge to Win in Love and Life." And you know why? Because you have to practice it. Like, I could tell you steps right now, but you have to see the why behind it. You got to see the science behind it. You got to see the spirituality behind it. And there's scripture to support it. There's science to support it. There's stories to support it. So I take you 3 different ways, right, to see how it works and why it works. And then you can apply it to your life. And then you have applications. So that's why, because me just telling you one thing, it won't stick. And if you're not practicing it, it won't work. So the first step is understanding that it's okay to be soft sometimes and to give yourself a break. And so here's the first thing that I will say. Sometimes being soft is self-care for you and not for the other person. Sometimes it's giving yourself a break and grace, or being quiet, because when you argue or you go hard, it rises up your blood pressure. Here's one, Kim, you'll appreciate this. Girl, it frowns your face. Girl, we be getting Botox and stuff like that. That's not good for my beauty regimen, child, to be mad and frowning all the time, to be upset, to go into flight or fight mode in my brain, and now my brain is freaking out. Now my body is freaking out. I'm getting fibroids. I'm getting high blood pressure, having heart attacks, having anxiety attacks, depressed, right? Because I'm going hard all the time. So be soft for your own sake, not even just to please a man or your boss or your friend. Be soft because you need it. Like, take a break, child. Walk away. Have some alone time. Go ahead and cry, child, because if you holding all that negative pain inside of you, it's got to go somewhere. It's going to attach to your body. It's going to attach to your spirit. So you got to release some of that heaviness and that hardness that's inside of you, because it's killing your mind. It's killing your spirit. You got to let it out. You need a safe place. Go see a therapist, girl. Go get this book, child. Pray, honey. Meditate, right? Talk to your girlfriends. Release. Go for a walk. Go for a run. You got to get that stuff out of you.
I'm going to tell you something. That's so true, because, you know, I'm dealing with my dad. My dad is, I don't want to speak anything negative, but my dad is in hospice, and he has not been doing well. And one of the things that has helped me tremendously, because when you're talking about the emotion of potentially losing a parent, you know, you can be very emotional, and I've gotten a little clingy, you know, with my husband. Because I don't want to lose my dad, right? That's my dad, you know, and
absolutely.
So my heart has felt so many different things in this last 6 months. And what has helped me tremendously is the self-help. It has literally, and when I say self-help, me starting to work out, because I was always a Zumba girl, right? I eat exceptionally well. My husband said today, he said, Kim, I don't understand why you're not size 2. He was like, because you eat exceptionally healthy, right? And he said, I just don't get it. I said, I think it's just because it's stress. I think it's stress weight. I said, because I'm working out now and I eat exceptionally healthy.
It's stress, but also, Kim, but you know what else it is, Kim? Our bodies have changed, right? So as our metabolism changes, and so the stuff that we used to be able to do real quick and then get right back, boom, and snatched, child, it don't work like that anymore. These hormones, it's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world. And what I was going to say is, me working out is, and I told somebody, it's beyond like losing weight. Me working out is saving my life.
Yeah.
It really is, because me just pushing in that gym has done something for me. It releases these endorphins that really help my mental state, and it helps me to feel better, right? It helps
Go.
me
That's
to,
right.
you know, and everybody's in the gym for something different, right? People are looking at their guns. You know, I see people in the mirror, child, they looking at their waistline, they weighing themselves. You know, they got this thing called shred at Soldier Fit, which is where we go, where you shred all these pounds. And I told them I ain't here for that. It's gonna happen. I'm here for something else. I'm really here for what you just said. And for that reason, that book has blessed me tremendously. And I need everybody that's on here to go get it. Go to Dia's website. It's dearest.com. You can say it better than me.
Yeah. By the way, I'm on my husband's IG.
Yeah, we're
So
going to
my
wrap
IG.
up. Tell them we done.
No,
We're going to wrap
okay.
up.
No, but I'm saying my IG is DEYA Direct. My website is DEYAdirect.net. And yeah, all the books are on Amazon. You can find them on my website or on my IG as well. But yeah, Kim, that's it. Those endorphins. Like we don't realize how God is so amazing that he created our brain to affect our whole body. Our brain affects our mind affects our brain, our body affects our brain affects our bodies, right? Like when my knee is hurting, it's not my knee telling me that it hurts, it's my brain telling me that something is wrong with my knee. Child, it's an emergency. You need to sit down. And yes, you love those 6-inch heels, but boo, no, because those bones are rubbing up against those bones. Child, listen. Listen, here's what I'll leave with this. You know what soft is? Not lying to you. Be honest with yourself about where you are and where you're not, about what's going on with your life. Being soft is getting out of that FOMO and stop trying to compare yourself to other people or even your old self. You're not her anymore, right? So being soft is giving yourself grace and compassion and being okay with being okay when you're okay and not being okay when you're not okay. Because that is what it is. And you can't fix what you don't face. So if you're not okay, just acknowledging it, you're not going to stay stuck there, but it will give you, because we talked about it in the other live, once you give something a name, then you are empowered to do something about it. So be honest about what's going on with you so that you can put yourself in the best position to get the help and support that you need for your life.
Wow. What a great close to that, y'all. Listen, we ain't going to keep y'all on long because Dee is on her husband's phone, but I definitely want to encourage each of you. I love to spread the wealth of knowledge that amongst my friends and family, especially because Dia is so close to me, not just in heart and spirit, but like you all, I can call Dia now. Like Dia just jumped on here and was willing to get this information. You notice we didn't put up no flyer about this conversation. We actually started this conversation talking about fibroids and mental health, and she was dropping so many nuggets in that chat. So if you missed that chat, that's on the USA Fibroid Center's page. Run over to the USA Fibroid Center's page to find out how fibroids affect your mental health, right? She talked about that, but then she started talking about soft being the new power, and it was just so good. Oh my God. And so I want you guys to go and get her book. I want you guys to follow her. I want you to get her book, and I want you guys to be introduced to one of my best friends. She also has, oh yeah, that's my book too. You're Successful, but are you okay? I think that's everybody on here. You're successful, but are you okay? You know, so she got a couple of books on there, you guys, and I think that are going to be really good tools for you to help you segue from where you are now to where you're trying to be emotionally, and as well as your in your job space. But I'm going to say this to her because she doesn't even know it yet, but I've been praying about this. I want y'all to meet my first speaker for I Am Her. This is my first speaker for 2024 for I Am Her. It's been in my spirit to ask her. I'm gonna ask her publicly. She ain't gonna tell me no because she don't tell me no, and that's that. But y'all, this is one of my speakers for I Am Her. So I'm excited that she'll be able to share this knowledge even deeper in that space and in that setting. And we'll talk about what capacity that'll be in. But I want you guys to just suck up all of this, soak up all of this invaluable information that she gave you tonight that was free. And I'm her, you're gonna pay her. But this was free. period.
Hey, Kim.
So thank you, Dia, so much for
Yeah.
jumping on. Tell your
Before we
husband
go,
I said, hey.
I will. But before we go, I want to just say this to you. This for me is an answered prayer. So thank you for inviting me on today. I've really been praying about, God amplifying my voice, because I realize, we all go through phases, and sometimes you get out of touch with your own gift. And so I've been praying for more opportunities, for public speaking, like this, paid opportunities, etc. Because I've got all this knowledge and all this passion inside of me. But what good is it if you're not using it? If you're not helping people, and that's my heart anyway. So it's my honor. I love you. I love what God is doing in your life, in your ministry. Our friendship is one of the highlights in my life. So I appreciate you tonight.
I love you too. I love you. Y'all go support my friend. Go support my friend and love on her, buy her books, whatever she's doing, support her page if she's speaking live. If you want to bring her on your page, do the same. Introduce her to your community, because that's how it happens. That's the way, collaborations work. They bring forth so much fruit. So I need you to collab with her, bring her to your platform, bring her to your conference. And she did not pay me to do this, nor did she ask. I'm saying it because I have a platform and a voice, and y'all listen to me. So if you listen to me, listen to her, period. And I love y'all. I love you too, dear. And y'all, I see y'all later. I love you so much, as I tell him when I leave. I love you so very much. And I pray God's blessings upon you and your family and everybody that's watching. Peace.
Amen.